totally different person to me now. I used to think of you as somebody that would never, ever hurt me. Ever. This can't be it. Then how come it is?
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 5 of Unboxed Thoughts. It is Motivational Monday. How was everybody's week? You guys have a good weekend? Safe week since we last talked? Guys, I am so sorry. There was no video released today. Figured we'd play a little something before the show started because my day was so busy between running errands and my kids were really talkative today on the phone, so I really didn't have no time to do anything. But glad everybody's here. Everybody knows it's Monday, Unboxed Thoughts Day. I'm coming into today's episode and I'm really thinking like, damn, we're already on episode 5 of season 2. Today marks the official quarter through the second season. And it's a bunch of different feelings going on, guys. It's really, it can be emotional. It's very humble. We've got a lot of dedicated viewers that come here week in and week out. And I just want to let you guys know that I deeply appreciate every single one of you, as always, for coming and watching the show every week. Right before the show today, me and Blaze got together, talked a little bit per usual, and we were just basically talking about we're going to be making a couple of new changes to the show. You guys will just have to wait for that. He wanted to know if I would be on board for it, and I said absolutely. That would be a cool idea. Plus I figure it'll change up the show a little bit, and a lot of you guys probably already know in the back of your minds as exactly what may happen because it has been in talks. I know I've mentioned it in conversation, meaning that it's something about the show that like kind of irks me a little bit. As far as like presentation wise and stuff. So when that gets going, I hope when the episode comes, you guys pop on. I hope everybody will enjoy that when it comes. But for right now, it'll be a surprise. It's in the works, and y'all be notified then. See, we got Steph in the house, Alyssa. We got we got Melissa and Alyssa in the house today. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Happy Motivational Monday. But yeah, guys, so I kind of wanted to just bounce around a little bit on today's episode, seeing that it's season 5. Maybe touch up on a couple of things that we had already talked about, guys. As far as the show goes, and I thank you all for your support. You guys know when I see the chat going. So if there's anything between what's going on and from your week to your weekend, I don't ask you guys that just for nothing. Like when I ask you guys how was your week, how was your weekend, I really want to know. Like I want you guys to hit me with it in the comment section. That way we can at least talk about it. I can give you a shout out, elaborate on something. You guys know I love the feedback. When you guys are hitting that comment section up, I tell you all the time, like that is probably one of the most amazing things ever, along with everybody showing up here on a weekly basis. So having said that, so yeah, I want to bounce around a little bit today. I just want to talk to you guys, see where you guys' heads at, all that good stuff. There is a particular topic that I do want to talk about because I do not know if he is here yet in the comment section, but JJ Souza, who watches the show every week, he was telling me about a documentary last week. It's a series of shows. I have not gotten to watch it yet. I have not. However, within these series of documentaries, all right, it's a Netflix special. I have it written down somewhere. But I was breezing through TikTok per usual, and I came across a video that kind of actually reminded me that I need to watch this this Netflix series. But Blaze, when you get a chance, can you just play that video for me, please? He'll get to it. He'll get to it. We go over here. Oh yeah, I remember. Do you? Do you actually remember? Is that the show Addicted? Yes, yes, it's called Addicted. Yep. It's on Netflix. Good memory. I have it written down.
Meanwhile, the fentanyl epidemic has tightened its grip on addicts. Now, opioids mixed with a growing threat that is turning people into what some are calling living zombies. In Philadelphia, zombie-like addicts, their slumped bodies covered with sores, literally causing their limbs to rot. It is all caused by an animal tranquilizer that's being mixed with opioids. It's called xylazine. The street name for this is Trank. It can be deadly, and Narcan is not effective against it. Joining us now, Community Health Services Advisor Kevin Dahlgren. Kevin, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So this zombie drug is estimated to be in 90% of street drugs in Philly at this point. It has already been found in other big cities like New York. How soon do you think it will be that this is going to take over illegal street drugs across the country?
That's a very good question. I will say I spoke with my colleague in San Francisco yesterday, and he said there's already 4 confirmed deaths. So it is actually reaching the West Coast. Trank we've heard about for a long time on the East Coast, but it's relatively a new phenomenon on the West Coast. But it makes complete sense because, for example, fentanyl, while it's highly addictive, people build a tolerance towards it. And when you build a tolerance, you need to find stuff to add to it to make it last longer and be stronger. And so that's why Trank was introduced to this. And of course, the question is, where does this end?
So where does this end? All right. When I hear that question, and I think I've talked about this a little bit before, there is a huge part of me that your pharmaceutical companies, certain politicians, and guys, you know, on this show, we don't ever touch on politics. Not our thing, okay? But when it comes to something like this, it's all a fucking moneymaker. Something tells me that they've known about this well before, like in this particular area that they're talking about now. They said they've known about it for a little while on the East Coast. We always get the fucking bad rap for everything here on the East Coast, so whatever. All right. But I've talked to you guys before about the whole fentanyl issues going on in the Percocets. All right, guys, I knew about that shit 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I've already known that this shit was out on the fucking streets. And then I don't know what episode. I do know we talked about it on one of the shows, but I'm always in passing when I'm hearing about this bullshit. I'm never actually like really sitting down, watching it and paying attention. No matter what it is, I'm always in passing doing it. And it just happened to come across the TV screen. And, you know, they're showing all your Percocets up there, you know, your A215s, your M's, you know what I mean? They're showing all of them, and, you know, how how the actual ones will look all powdery. But the ones that have the fentanyl in them, they have more of a gloss to them. They got more of that shiny area, and they're harder to break apart and crush, etc. Okay, so I knew about that already. And then I don't know if I ever told you guys, but this is going back some time now. Latuda. All right, you guys know what Latuda is. Some of you do. JJ, I just talked about that. I have not, and you literally just missed the video that I just aired, because when I seen this video, it reminded me to watch Addiction, but it's talking about Trank. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Just stick with me for a little bit. So when Latuda had come out, I remember I seen the commercial for it first. And then at the end of it, it says, do not mix with alcohol, etc. Now, I know I've come across other medications where it's they're always saying, there's going to be side effects. You shouldn't be mixing X, Y, and Z with it. Okay. So I've told you guys before, I used to be a medical assistant for a fucking whacked out psychiatrist here in the city. All right, down on Hanover. And I had just graduated medical assistant school, and he gave me a job. He knew my father. Okay. So I would fill out these scripts for him. You know what I mean? He would just came in from work, didn't catch the beginning of the show. Don't worry about it, Jerry. That's fine. Thanks for tuning in, dude. I'm just answering your question. So one day he would always be late. So he would be like, hey, make sure you get rid of these patients, this patient, and this patient. All right. He would always pre-sign these scripts, and I would go based on the files, and I would get rid of them. You know what I mean? And some of the medications would be Latuda that I would be filling out for people. All right. And then I remember one particular day, we get a fax back from a pharmacy, and they had noticed something wrong with the way the script was written. Well, here I am. I'm going back in this patient's chart. I'm seeing that she's only supposed to be on 50 milligrams of this pill, Latuda. She then, in return, before she went to the pharmacy, she tried to be one of those slick people and wrote a 1 before the 5 to make it look like it was 150 milligrams of Latuda. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what the fuck would you want with 150 milligrams of fucking Latuda? Please explain to me. Well, then here's the kicker. I did not know, because I don't take Latuda. I was never on it. Now I've known a couple of people that have taken Latuda, but supposedly, from what I'm gathering from people, is that it gives you the feeling of like a Seroquel, Neurontin, also known as gabapentin, and alcohol. I guess it gives you like that intoxication feeling, like you've been out drinking all night and shit like that. You know what I mean? From what I'm gathering. And I'm over here like, damn, bro. Back in my day, we weren't like doing this shit. You know what I mean? It's almost like you've got these fucking people out there buying these different fucking antidepressant drugs, fucking, this, that, and the other thing. Like, legitimately, like, trying to experiment with these medications. Just to say, hey, maybe if I take too much, I wonder what I'll feel from it. You guys are that fucking bored that you guys literally got to experiment with all these different medications because you're that desperate to get some type of feeling? Come on. And then, okay, and that leads me up to now. Okay? Now you're finding fentanyl in everything. Everything, okay? So just as I thought it wasn't bad enough that you're already behind the fucking fentanyl issue, because they've been mixing it with fucking everything for God knows how long now. What I just said, I'm going on 7 years. All right. So I've known about it 7 years already. God knows who else have known before me. Okay. Now you got these people experimenting with fucking just to see what a drug like Latuda would do for you. It's almost like, wow, bro, like you're an old school drug guy, huh? I guess so. I don't fucking know because I wasn't doing this shit. And now you got people taking fentanyl or heroin and you're mixing it with fucking animal tranquilizers. I see this shit and I'm like, dude, that's like some Jay and Silent Bob bullshit. No, what is that? The fucking trank gun. I'm gonna shoot me and my girl in the ass with it later and we're gonna fuck like 2 stone jackrabbits. Guys, when these people are buying this shit off the fucking street nowadays, it's legitly crazy that they don't know exactly what they're buying. All right. I know I say it all the time, but I'm pretty sure I've talked on this before. You know, I really think that there's a lot that's getting out of hand now. What has helped you throughout your darkest time? I like that question. I'll get right back to that. Like, okay, like places like Amsterdam, okay? Places like Amsterdam, drugs are basically legal. All drugs. And it's like their crime rate is for everything else but the drug problem. Okay? And when you come over here, we have it regulated, whereas to some people aren't able to get whatever their drug of choice is, you know what I mean, out on the street, that, you know, it's all freaking lays, it fucking, they're dropping dead, fucking this, that, and the other thing. And it's almost like whatever just happened to, you know, be like a regular heroin addict. You know, you go out, you buy your dope, you fucking shoot it, and you fall asleep for a few hours. I never did heroin. It wasn't my fucking cup of tea. I was always a fucking an energy guy, you know what I mean? So I never got the point to where, like, if you felt like sleeping, bro, just fucking fall asleep. You gotta stick a syringe full of gasoline in your fucking. Not my thing. Not my thing. All right. Or if you're a coke addict, you know what I mean? You just go, you know I hear stories of like back in the day of when like these people that were building our roads, doing our bridges and construction work, whatever, masonry. I heard a good majority of them, depending on where you went, they were like cokeheads, but they were taken in moderation because of like the work that they were doing. Whereas to now, it's like you can't do that because something's gonna be in the shit. And the fact that they have now stooped to a new level in bringing animal tranquilizers and putting it in shit. Like I seen an opening trailer for the show Addiction. All right? And guys, I'm telling you, you guys ever see Spider-Man with who was it? The lizard villain there. You know what I mean? With like you knew the transformation from like his shit was happening because he was fucking peeling and all this. Dude, I seen a picture of this shit, and I think it was only like a minute and a half clip. This guy's fucking, his legs all freaking scarred the fuck up. You know what I mean? His skin's peeling. They've got freaking doctors on site to freaking work with him. You know what I mean? Because he's an addict. They're like, oh, when was the last time that you got high? You know what I mean? He was like, literally just a few hours ago. You know what I mean? And all this. But I'm like, it's nasty. It's absolutely nasty. And the fact that these people are literally in their homes playing scientist, fucking around with stuff like this. One question comes to mind. Who you been testing this on? Because a couple of bodies had to have fucking dropped in order for you to supposedly get this right, to have the effect that whatever it's having. Or get it fucking wrong, depending on where your head's at with this. It seems like when I wake up, okay, and I'm experiencing personally over time these different situations with what they're doing with these drugs and why people do these things with their drugs. I'll tell you right now, I need to know their reasoning. Because you want to know what my reasoning was? I needed the energy. At the time, I was working so many fucking hours and I needed the energy. But then guess what? When I had lost my job, everything just became an excuse. That's legitimately what it was. Because once again, I ended up having more of a problem than what I had thought, and I dug myself into a fucking deep hole. But it's like, Latuda, why? I think I seen it in the comments section. Somebody mentioned lithium or something like that. Have you heard of the drug? Yeah, you know what I mean? I remember the first time I even heard about lithium. That drug sends off a fucking red flag just by the goddamn name of it, just by not even reading the side effects and like what is in that drug and shit like that. That alone, like, yo, bro, you want some fucking lithium? The fuck? You know? Another one of mine was like fucking Ambien. You want some Ambien 10 milligrams, bro? I'd be sleeping for fucking days, guy. And I'm glad you just said that, because you know what, Ambien too, it's just like that. You take one of them, it's like you hung the fuck over. You know what I mean? Like you were out drinking the whole fucking day or the whole night. You know what I mean? Or going on a 3-day bender, depending on how bad it is. You know, when I think of drugs like that, bro, I think of when I used to drink wine. Because yeah, no matter what state that you fucking no matter what you drank, to me, wine was the worst hangovers ever. Like those were the days. At least if I was fucking tanked from drinking the night before, whatever, at least I'd be able to wake up the next day with a hangover and at least try to push myself. I mean, after a night of drinking wine, bro, I'd just be like, not even want to fucking move. You know, it was horrible. You get those fucking boxed wines and shit like that, Franzi and shit. Ugh. Yeah. But, yeah, guys, so I'm going to make a personal to-do list here about this. All right. I do know that I have tried reaching out to a couple of places just to be on a more professional level. I tried to go about it the right way, but I have some friends that work at Star. I have a very good friend of mine who is not only just a friend, she was actually my teacher when I went to medical assistant school. She is now on the city school committee here in the city of Fall River. I'm gonna reach out to them, and I'm I'm legitimately going to have a talk with them to try to get them a little more up to speed on these things, or to see if there's any way where I can help them, or if there's any way where they can, try and give me some help back. That way, try to understand things a little more, because it's getting out of hand. It's like one epidemic after another. And it's like, like I said at the beginning of the show, I feel like a lot of people really don't give a fuck. I feel like you've got those politicians and law enforcement agencies that want to nail these fucking dirtbags and get these drugs actually off the fucking street. Because I bet you right now, a lot of these fucking, where it's being made is probably in some schmo's apartment complex in which you would never even think it would be in that particular type of apartment. You're probably looking for a condo or a fucking house or some bullshit like that. And not, in the neighbor's backyard where it's really going on. The cops are in front of the house type deal. They're talking to the neighbors, but it's really going on, behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Type deal. I know we're coming up on a break, but there is another thing that I wanted to touch up on, because I seen it in the comments. What has helped you throughout your darkest time? What has helped me? People like you guys. People like my family. That hardcore, and I've said it before, that hardcore support system. I don't mean, let's go to break real quick, and then I'll finish elaborating on that. Welcome back, guys. Hope you all enjoyed the break. Guys, I'm over here reading the comments, and I'm really liking the feedback. And I actually want to take this time to finish up what I was saying, to answer Jerry's question, and then I want to go through this. But Blaze, if we can, uh, is there a way where we could also pop up the YouTube comments as well? I know we did it the last time, but I was wondering that way I can see what's going on over there as well. But Jerry, to get to your question, what has helped me through my darkest time? Definitely people like you. People, uh, my support system, whether it my family, my mother, particular friends, anybody who legitly put their foot in my ass, okay? Because I'm the type of person that, like, sometimes when things are going good, right? It would always seem like I would take those good times for granted. And it's like, yeah, I'm doing good right now. I can, dibble and dabble, fall off the wagon a little bit, and experiment, like fucking whatever the case is. And then it's just like, no, no, the fuck you can't, bro, because you have an addictive behavior. I've talked about it before. When I had gotten out of rehab, I was still drinking for that first 6 months when I got out. Here I am only thinking like I was getting clean and sober off of fucking Percocet, off of opiates. You know what I mean? And fentanyl, because fentanyl was in the Percocets at the time. I talked about that. And and uh and that's why, like, I don't do therapists anymore, because I feel like my support system, you know, my family that I keep close, my really close friends that I keep near and dear to me. You know what I mean? It's all about your strong support system, and you got to keep yourself busy. You have to keep your mind occupied. Find a hobby. You know what I mean? Something that really interests you. Something, because those thoughts are never really gonna go away with those dark times. I tell you all the time, I can be in a particular conversation with somebody, dude, and everything's all fucking hunky dory. You know what I mean? And just because they mention one word, no matter what the word is, they mention one word. Next thing you know, I'm already having like fucking flashbacks. I'm fucking thinking about this, that, and the other thing. The time I fucking did this, and all the time I did that, the time I said this, and like, why the fuck did I even say that at that particular time? You know what I mean? Because it was like, it was me, but it wasn't me type deal. You know what I mean? And I think that's very important, that, and I've talked to you guys, I've said that before. You know what I mean? Whenever you're in a really dark time, guess what? It was during season 1. I had said, you're gonna hang out with a buddy or a particular cousin. You know what I mean? So guess what? Sit the fuck down. You're my friend right now. I gotta talk to you about some shit. Oh well, I really don't listen. You don't really have. I just gotta get this off my fucking chest right now. Because at least by you saying it, you're talking about it and getting it off you out there, you're at least gonna feel a little bit better than you did before. You know what I mean? A lot of these situations or episodes, events, they're never gonna go away. Never. And that's bad in itself. The goal is not to get rid of them. Okay? If you can, that is a bonus. All right? Because I know we've talked about before where, like, we'll get into those fucking situations where, you know, you run into somebody that, mommy and daddy always did something for them type deal. You know what I mean? And then something tragic happens, and then they try to play the poor me card. You know what I mean? But those people are separate. We're not talking about them. All right? We're talking about those people who genuinely really want to get uh help improve themselves and stuff like that. All right? And you need to be selfish. All right? You really need to be selfish. Selfishness, as bad as as bad as a rap the word may get, it's actually a helpful tool. I highly suggest if anybody is going through these particular type of, hard times, mental illness, something, play the selfish card. Take care of yourself. Forget about everybody. All right. And number two, all right, when you're on that path to getting yourself out of that dark situation, any friend or relative that can be um, related in cahoots or whatever to any type of that negative situation you're trying to, guess what? You got to get rid of them too. Because they are going to be no good. But they're a neutral person. No, they're not. No, they're not, because they're still affiliated with this side over here. You can't be, when you're trying to go this way, you can't have anybody affiliated, no matter how back and forth they keep going. Because you know what? Now they're going to start having you go back and forth. You know what I mean? And you can't have that. All right. It's bad enough that in some situations, you're going to be playing a game of chess. All right. You're going to have those situations where sometimes you're going to have to go backwards to go forwards. All right. When you get in like those sacrifice type moments, you're stuck between two shitty options, but you got to pick one, right? Along those lines. I had seen that. Melissa said that my dad took Ambien and his sleep, got up and held a phone book in the palm of his hand and shot the phone book without ever waking up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the medications to these fucking, the side effects, I'm sorry, to these, medications, I just like absolutely like crazy. And my father was on a lot of these. I learned a lot about these particular types of medications through my father. You know what I mean? I was already learning about some of them before I ever went to medical assistant school, before I ever started doing internships or working in like these actual doctor's offices. And then, as if it wasn't bad enough, when my father passed away and I got like all his medical records and all this other stuff, I'm looking at his medication chart, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like some of them I never heard of them. So now where does my mind go? I'm over here fucking looking them up, seeing what the side effects are. But then it contains this type of chemical. Now I'm looking to see what's inside that, what that actual chemical inside this drug is made up of. You know what I mean? Like my mind fucking goes everywhere. It's like I'm dissecting every fucking situation over, a certain type of medication. I mean, but I don't only just do it with medication. I do it with whatever fucking triggers me. You know what I mean? So that's bad in itself as well. Where can someone get help for homeless in the city? There are a lot of programs in the city. Right. And you know what? And this goes back to, I would make it, this is something like I would like to do for me so I can elaborate with you guys, is I would really like to get with some of my people like within Star. I don't know if you heard this part, Jerry, you might have just been coming on, but I have tried to reach out to Star. I've tried to reach out to Recovery Fall River and stuff like that. I haven't gotten anything back to him. So I tried to do it the professional way, but now just to get on an insight, I do have some friends within the system as well. So now I'm thinking about legitly just like trying to shoot them a message to see, exactly what they can do. You might know one of them actually. She's on the school committee now, Shelly Pereira, Linda's daughter. She was one of my teachers at Salter School when I was going for my medical assistant job. And like it's absolutely crazy to see like how she's evolved too in the city and the great things that she's doing now. So that's a conversation that I would personally like to have with them to see, you know what I mean, like they're trying to catch them up to speed, because like I say, like a lot of this shit's crazy. I've already known for years, you know what I mean, and then just to get their insight to see like exactly what they're doing and whatnot. You know, maybe there's something they can say that can help me. Maybe there's something I could say to help them type deal. Um, and as far as some of these programs, I'm gonna have to go by there myself to see what's going on because a lot of these places, Jerry, like or anybody, right? I've noticed Fall River is not the only place because there are programs going on. And this is what I'd like to find out. But why are these programs so minimal? Or are they raising enough money to find other proper housings for these places? Because there's only so many places in Fall River that they could go. You know what I mean? And I know sometimes they'll ship certain people up to some places in Brockton. I know they'll ship them up to some places up in New Bedford. You know, I know they have like these different places. If they're full in one place, they'll try to look for you a bed within our surrounding areas and stuff like that. Because that's what happened to me when I checked myself into a group out in New Bedford. Actually, when I found out I was going to be a father for the first time. When I found out I was going to be a father for the first time, my life was going great already. I had my kid's mother, and she had my oldest already, Miles. I've been raising him since he was 2.5 years old, so that's my child, and that was great enough for me. When I ever found out that I was going to be a father, I checked myself right into St. Anne's Hospital, told them I wasn't mentally right because here I am once again thinking things are just getting better, and now all of a sudden I get hit with this, and it's like a massive weight on my shoulders. And it's like, you can ask my mother. My mother is right here in the comment section. I fucking went right to her. I'm flipping the fuck out. Like I don't know what the hell to do because I was also trying to quit the first time alcohol. All right, and that in itself was bad. You know what I mean? So it was like I had all these things. It was like I was working a lot. You know what I mean? I was keeping myself occupied from staying off of alcohol. And, I got family and bills to pay going on here. And then, boom, you're going to get hit with another kid. And mind you, it's my first biological one. I don't really go by biological. All of them are mine. But regardless, you know what I mean? Like, so when I'm in St. Anne's, first they told me that I was just gonna have to stay there for observation and stuff like that. But then they ended up telling me that an ambulance was going to be coming to pick me up to bring me over to this place out in New Bedford that was through Child and Family Services, which I found it weird, but all right, no problem. And needless to say, my mother and my kid's mother actually offered to so they held off on the ambulance, and they were like, all right, well, they're expecting you there. And I ended up going there for, I think it was like 5 days, maybe a week or something like that, just so I could get straight because at the time, like I was going through it. But anyway, um, I really want to find out exactly what these places do and exactly what they offer. And if there's something else more that maybe I could do to maybe help promote them more, or maybe there was certain type of events that these places can do. Can join us these programs and Unboxed Thoughts. You know what I mean? Yeah, a rough patch. That's exactly what it was. A fucking rough patch. And but yeah, and I think not only will it be good for me personally because I would get answers, but I think it would actually be good for the city of Fall River as well. You know what I mean? When it comes to addressing our epidemic problem that we've been going through for quite some time. All right. And it seems like no matter what they do around here, you get these off the street, but then something new is coming into the street. You get that off the street. Though, it's a vicious cycle, but maybe we can run an event or something, you know what I mean? Try to raise money, get another program up and running. You know what I mean? That way there's just that extra outlet now coming into the city of Fall River. And I think I told you guys too, I even tried to reach out to the mayor of the city, Mr. Coogan, which I honestly thought he would have gotten back to me quicker by now. He was my vice principal in middle school. He became my principal in high school. I ran for school committee on the same ballot as he did when he was going for school committee before he went on the ballot and became mayor of the city and stuff like that. And if it wasn't for Mayor Coogan, I wouldn't have graduated high school. All right, I've told you guys that story before, but Coogan is a really great guy. You know, I'm sure there's issues with him and stuff like that, but to me, when I think of Mayor Coogan, it's kind of like if it wasn't for you type deal, I wouldn't be here, But I'm gonna keep pushing on that, and to see where we can progress and go further with that. Yeah, he's a great kid. My mom is great. Hey, thanks, man. I deeply appreciate that. And yeah, guys. So Blaze just put up the QR code for the show Addicted. You can air it on Netflix. It's also in the comment section. I don't know. Maybe that's something else that we can do going forward on the show. I mean, maybe one day, depending on like who's watched it or who hasn't and stuff like that, maybe we can all watch it together and make a show out of it, and then have a conversation if Blaze will give us some extra time on a particular day. But Blaze, what's going on, man?
Okay, so all right, that show is not on. There's a little bit of a confusion about the show. Okay, from everything I'm trying to gather, I know it's one season. It's about 5 or 6 episodes. I can't
Okay.
I can't pinpoint what the show is. You understand what I'm saying? So when I put in addiction to search for it, it's like, yeah, you can find it on Hulu, but you can also find another one that's called Addiction on Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? There's no
Right.
addiction, anything with the words addiction in it at all for on Netflix. You know what I mean? So I really don't know what I'm looking for. Do you have the right show?
Somebody put it in the comment section.
Yeah, they put the word
I think two people
addictive.
did.
Addictive. I don't cuz Jerry, the gentleman JJ Souza that we got the information
Yep.
from in the first place to watch the show, he's now saying it's on Hulu, and everyone's getting confused and thinks it's on Netflix. So, all right, just wanted to let you know that, and so if anybody could help us out with maybe finding a proper one, it'd be great. All right, Nick.
Yeah. If somebody could get that to me as soon as possible, I would deeply appreciate it. Exactly. I do know I have it written down, but I've got papers upon papers with shit written all over them from things to remind me, and because I have squirrel moments, guys. So unfortunately, I need to write things. It's kind of funny. I got to write things down to remember them going forward, but I don't write not a fucking thing down coming into a show. Never will. But thank you, JJ. I appreciate that. How you doing, Steph? Thank you for coming in. I deeply appreciate it. How's your day? It's good to see you. Coach, how you doing, bud? Melissa, animal tranquilizer, that's insane. There are some folks in our area who have committed suicide using it. So scary. Yeah, and it's getting even scarier, man, because what kind of nutball just thinks, dude, I'm gonna mix these tranquilizers with some fucking fentanyl or some freaking heroin. Maybe they'll transform into the City of Fall River's new villain, and that'll give somebody else the opportunity to dress up as fucking Batman and go out and save. You know what I mean? I know I'm making a joke out of it, but it's not a fucking joke. You know, it's shit like this that really like pay off fucking beyond belief, because it's like that's the true definition of people being assholes. Where so we have a problem as it is. You know it. But you're just gonna go out here and fucking play scientist and start freaking mixing all these fucking different things and then say, here's a new product out on the street. You know what I mean? Like, what's your fucking brains, dude? You know, it is. It's becoming a really bad, like, dangerous issue. And, you know, how many times have I come on this show? You know, fucking week in and week out now. Two seasons. And, you know, I'm hearing about fucking, you know, this one dying from that. You know, I've had, you know, 3 friends and a relative already passed away, and we're only in fucking May. You know, and you know, it's like, do you guys really want to stop this? You guys go on camera, preach to the American people, to your city, your state, your community, that this is an ongoing issue and these people need to be stopped. Need to be stopped. Then you go to walk away from the fucking podium and you're like, make sure this is done on such and such day so the new shipment can go out on the streets by this particular weekend. You guys got some fucking balls. Some balls. Jay, this is nice. Send it to me, please. Yes, please send it to Blaze so he can get that to me as soon as possible so I can watch this and see what's going on. Could you tell Mother Nature to F off on the weekend and give us nice days? You know, hey, that's even funny that you say that because in passing, because my parents are always watching freaking the news and Mr. Tony Petrarca and company, you know, they were talking about like how we had the shitty weather all weekend. And then I forgot the anchor man's name. I think it's Mike Montecalvo. He ends up turning around to Tony and he's like, nice weather, perfect timing for the beginning of the work week. You know, you're like, where the fuck was it over the weekend? You know what I mean? Freaking nice ass weather. I gotta drag my ass off into the news studio for fucking 5 a.m. or whatever the time he gets there. So that's actually really funny. Laurel, thank you for stopping in. I haven't seen you in quite some time in here. Good to see you. How was your vacation? How was Florida? California. I'm sorry, you went to California. Hey, Nick, wanted to jump in quick and keep doing amazing things. All right, thank you, guys. Guys, that person, Laurel, right there, she is one of my most amazing friends. I met her while working in People Incorporated. Guys, we also have a quick clip for you, too. But I met her in working for People Incorporated. She is now I think she's one of the main supervisors over there now. So within the last 10 years or so, this girl really grew. And she helped me very much on my road to recovery, especially from the very beginning up until the present time. And we've talked before. Hopefully she'll be a guest at some point on the show. She's a really good mental health advocate herself, domestic violence and stuff like that. She's a very influential and very informative individual. You know what I mean? And that's what I want Unboxed Thoughts to really be all about. Not only just giving you guys all this information and my site, my stories, my opinion, whatever you guys want to call it. You know what I mean? But it's really embracing the individuals that actually come in here um, on a week in, week out basis and really show their support. And not only just to me, man, like when you guys are conversating with each other inside the comment section, you know what I mean? Like that right there makes it even more easier and more special for me to keep coming on every week to do this show because you guys just make me so comfortable to come in here and discuss anything and everything. It's amazing. You know what I mean? So it's like nowadays, you know what I mean? It's like compared to like dark times when I was first on the road to recovery and all stuff like that. It's almost like, oh, Nick, what about now? What gets you through those dark times now? You know what I mean? And it's really like all you guys between here, whether if you guys are on TikTok, um, whether if you're the close few that I hold close in my personal life that you're around me. You know what I mean? Like you guys all give me that comfortability to say whatever's on my mind on a weekly basis. And you guys come back at me with it. You guys feed me more. That way I can come out and be like, and elaborate on it more and we can have more of a discussion. You know what I mean? That's what makes it so special. Every week. Every week. Sorry, I'm getting a PC update over here, and we can't do that shit right now. So, having said that, thank you guys very much. I want to show you that clip real quick because we're just about out of time. So, Blaze, can we please show that? Hey, Fallon, thank you for coming in, sweetheart. All right, he said to give him a minute. So, we'll give him that 60 seconds. Um Yeah, exactly. This is a drama-free zone. All right. And another thing that, you know, no matter who I'm associated with, the network, Unboxed Thoughts, over on my other platforms, all right, it's have your different opinions. All right. Nothing pisses me off more. All right. And there's a few things that really irk me. All right. But it's people who don't get along just because they don't share the same opinion on one particular subject or one particular topic. Do you know how many fucking topics there are in the world? Just because you don't agree on one, you're gonna have a fucking vendetta about them, or you're gonna stop making shit up. That's fucking happened this week. That's happened this week to me. You know what I mean? Just because something happens that has nothing to do with me. All right, we're affiliated with each other, but because you were out and about doing something else and you got reprimanded for it, now you're fucking coming into my space, my fucking area, and you're making up a story of something that never happened just because somebody sailed into you and gave you what you deserved. The fuck? The fuck? So, bro, it's not the one. I'm getting this. All right, so apparently it was the wrong one as well. But yeah, man, embrace each other. Just because I'm a Patriot fan and you're a fucking 49er fan, or you're a Steel fan, we're gonna talk our shit and then you're gonna fucking take it seriously. But we could get along great when it comes to math, fucking building things, a particular game. You know what I mean? Shit like that, guy. We have so much in common. You just want to write me the fuck off just because I don't agree with you about sports teams? Or, you know, so when these matters come up, sometimes it's family shit. All right. I'll give you an example for me just because that's where I'll start. I'll start with me. I remember at one point in time that we had a family relative that was about to pass away. Okay. And it was my aunt's mother. My aunt then comes into the waiting room where all of us family are, and she asks us our opinion on something. Everybody in that room stood quiet. Then I turned around, all right, because it was about putting a pacemaker in her. And I said, just because I knew the situation, and always keep that in mind too. Don't just fucking fire off on all cylinders. That will get you in trouble. But I said, absolutely not. If you're asking for everybody's opinion here because you want it to be a family opinion, mine is no. Too bad. Her health is way too bad. That pacemaker is going to it's just delaying the inevitable. Needless to say, she went with going to still put the pacemaker in. And my aunt still ended up passing away, a few days later. I was living in Florida at the time, and we needed to make an emergency rush up here because we had heard that something was going on and stuff like that. My aunt, she wasn't doing too well health wise, and I was just brought, just to put in a pacemaker, try and help her out and stuff. And she was just putting a pacemaker in her at that time. To me, it's just like it's just gonna make her suffer more. You know what I mean? Like, and that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? It was like, well, we're like way over time. Well, not way over time. We're 6 minutes, but I'm having a conversation with you guys, and I think about this sometimes because it's like when my time comes, it's almost like I don't want nobody to argue, because we're all gonna have that time. You learn to accept it later on. When you're a kid, you're afraid. Oh, I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? It's like not right now, not right now. So chill the fuck out. But it's not that you mean to. But when you're going on in life, sometimes it's like these thoughts cross your mind, and it's like I really want everybody to just really embrace each other. You know what I mean? Like, don't be sad, like be happy. You know what I mean? Have a fucking party. You know what I mean? Don't have a funeral for me. Have a fucking party. You know what I mean? To celebrate. You know what I mean? And I've had this conversation a couple of times, but like, just randomly. You know what I mean? And then it's like I have somebody in my life where it's to like I love this person very, very much. And it's like when my time comes, I wouldn't want that person to be my health proxy. And it kind of makes no sense to a lot of people, but to me, it makes perfect sense because it's almost like this person I know loves me so much. How do I know if this person would really pull the plug on me when I really want to go? You know what I mean? So I actually, somebody who really can't stand me in the way, but I have this relationship with this person with, we know, all right? Whereas like if the time came, she pull that fucking plug, no problem. Like, there you go. That's who I am. That's what I would want. You know what I mean? If I'm already in that fucking suffering stage, you know what I mean? Like, don't bother. Don't. And I've said this, to family, and I'm saying this officially, I like on my show. You know what I mean? I cannot be one of those fucking people. You know what I mean? And I know this person, it might break their heart a little bit. And I'm not going to say the name, but we've had the discussion. And and I can feel, I think, she felt kind of offended about it because obviously she would want to be that person, but it's like, I know you love me too much. Something tells me that you just wouldn't let me go. And I understand that. I understand that. For me, it's like when my time, I need to make sure I'm going to go. And I just needed to, when I came to reality and accepted all this, I needed to nip that situation in the bud right off the rip. Here we go. There it is, everybody. There it is. And I hope you guys I know you guys tell me you guys appreciate every episode that I come on here and I talk about, all this different stuff and whatnot. You know, I really want you guys to know too that, I genuinely appreciate all of you guys coming here and, I talk about all the time that, certain things you just you know, you don't I don't owe the world doesn't owe me nothing. All right? It's me that owes the world everything that I could possibly give back to it. All right? If it's telling a certain story, having a certain conversation, giving some info, that's how it is. That's how it's always going to be. And that's what I'm all about. So on that note, guys, I do appreciate each and every one of you coming here on a weekly basis. Thank you for the support. We are officially a quarter through season 2. This was episode 5. And just keep loving each other. Don't judge one another. All right? And keep your fires burning. Love y'all.